one thing that we're constantly thinking about is like, all right, we had this reel pop off or that message crushed. How do we translate that same thing to a carousel post?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the walkthrough, the most underrated, valuable marketing show in real estate history. I am Eric Simon, aka the Broke Agent, aka the Content Cauldron. Get it? Because I'm always brewing up something funny or scary. What do you think of that one, Natalie? Do you like that?
Oh, I love it. I love it.
She loves it. All right. And I am not joined here by Jason Cassidy because he's on some national speaking tour, but I am joined here by two returning BAM favorites. First, we got the SoCal content real estate legend, Chris Benjamin, in the house. Chris, thank you for joining us today.
Good morning.
How you doing?
Happy Halloween. Doing great, brother. Thank you.
Happy Halloween. And next, we have perhaps the best marketer in Naples, and that includes Byron Lazine, BAM favorite, fan favorite, returning walkthrough guest, Naples Natalie. Naples, how you doing today?
Hey, pretty good. Happy Halloween. I brought my candy.
There we go. Nice. Chris, what'd you dress up as today?
I dressed up as a real estate agent, very prepared, always going somewhere with my sign and lockbox.
That's right.
Touch it
I love
and it's
it.
sold.
Touch it and it's sold. You got the lockbox. That's one of the scariest things in real estate. I have my lightsaber here, so I did dress up as well. I am a content Jedi. Okay, so here's what's going to happen today. We have a very, very special show. First, we're going to break down the top 10 social media fears that agents have and give you tips on how to squash those fears. It'll be very tactical. Then we're going to give our biggest marketing fears, followed by our marketing horror stories. And then we're going to have a little fun with some last second Halloween content ideas, or perhaps what you should wear to trick or treat with your kids tonight or tomorrow to get more leads. If you like the sound of that, please hit the like button, as this is the best way you can support us. If we get to 100 likes, Natalie will Zoom with your office and give a special training on how to create content. Isn't that right, Natalie?
Sure. Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
So get us to
likes.
100
I'm doing an
likes.
hour. Me and Natalie are doing it together.
And me, three of us.
Co-hosting
100
it.
likes. We will pick a comment at random. So comment the word Happy Halloween right now, and Natalie will fly into your office and we'll give a special training.
On my brew.
Exactly. All right. So these are the top fears. I looked this up on ChatGPT. I looked this up on Google. These are all basically confirmed that real estate agents have. And these are the questions we get asked, by the way, at conferences all the time, Chris. So I'm going to go one by one. I'm going to name the fear, and then we'll go around the horn and tell agents how you could squash it with some tactical advice. So number one, the fear of being on camera. Natalie, I'll start with you since you have no fear of being on camera, but maybe you started with one. I don't know. Do you have any tips for agents on how to squash it?
Yeah, just start doing it. The more you do it, like anything, the easier it becomes. Kind of simple there.
That's a great tip. Absolutely. And I totally agree with that. I was horrified to be on camera. Probably the first 5,000 times I was on it, I used to get heart palpitations going into even walkthrough episodes, speaking gigs, just filming it myself. So it does take a long time. Chris, what about yourself? Any tactical advice for agents to squash that fear?
Yeah, I think that you have to find your singing voice, so to speak, and you got to start singing, kind of like how Natalie and you said. And I think that, sorry, my meta glasses are talking to me. I think that you don't have to start where you want to end up. So I really like when people were doing trending dance videos or pointing at stuff, not because I love that content, but I think it's easier for people to show up and dance and not actually show their voice. I think we watch Byron and it's like, man, I want to give my opinion, but I think it takes a lot of time to feel confident to give your opinion. So I think it's easy to start like pointing at things, get comfortable on camera. Maybe after that, you could just like give information so it's not your opinion. And then once you have more confidence, you can be like Natalie, tell everyone how you feel about Naples, the old
Exactly.
there.
I like that. That's actually great advice to kind of slow roll. So when you're on camera, you don't even necessarily have to say anything. Maybe it's more B-roll or it's text popping up on video. I wouldn't recommend only doing the pointing at captions thing, but at least you're actively showing up and getting more comfortable in front of the camera. Some things I do is when I'm filming like a green screen video or a video for BAM, I break it down into multiple sections because it's really hard to talk for 60 seconds at a time for a short form Instagram clip unless you have some sort of teleprompter or you're really good at memorizing thing like you guys or Byron who could just talk out of his ass for, one straight hour. But what I like to do is I like to film the hook at the very beginning. That's 5 seconds. Film the second part, the third part, and then the call to action. That way you could give yourself multiple takes and really practice the naturalization of delivering that content as opposed to trying to rattle off like an entire script. And then, of course, another thing, just to at least like if you really, really hate being on camera, you could always break down a reel into a carousel post and do a storytelling reel. So, Natalie, maybe it's a picture of you and it has one of those captions on it and it's how I got my first listing in real estate and it's swiping, right? That way, at least you're kind of um, evolving the audience to understand storytelling without being on camera. And then if that carousel post does well, then that's like a key where now it's like a trigger. Oh, I could actually turn that into a video.
For
So
sure. And the fact that we sell homes, you can rely on the home behind you. If you're not always going to be like the center topic, so you can say like, look at this great home, and you're still on camera, but the attention is, behind you somewhere.
very true. Yeah, if you take yourself out of it and you're not thinking this is all about me, I'm sure that takes the pressure off and you're just talking about the house. So great tips right there for squashing the fear of being on camera. Okay, number 2, and this is a fear I certainly have, and probably everybody has, is the fear of running out of ideas. So Chris, we'll start with you. How do you keep getting ideas and how should agents not fear this?
I don't know if this is the right answer, but I feel like lately it's been less trying to come up with new ideas and more trying to figure out how to share the good ideas better. Tessa Bella's always talking about repurposing stuff, and you were just talking about the reel being a carousel. But one thing that we're constantly thinking about is like, all right, we had this reel pop off or that message crushed. How do we translate that same thing to a carousel post and see which
Mhm.
one does better? So I think instead of always coming up with new ideas, what have you done that has worked and how can you adapt it into a tweet like you do all the time? How do you adapt it into a carousel? Because if the idea is good, it's probably worth developing different ways.
100%. So look back on all of your old posts. Brock Johnson, Instagram coach, just talked about this. You should put, if a reel does well or a post does well, you should post it at minimum 3 times, even if it's the exact same thing, because your audience keeps turning over and people don't remember that you posted it and it's a proven concept. Naples, Natalie, your content is just ripe with variety and comedy and education and podcasting. Like, how does your brain behind that wig come up with all this content? How can an agent not have the fear of losing out on ideas?
Yeah, well, thank you so much.
Yes.
I think a fun part, and I think the three of us would agree, like being a creative in this business definitely helps. So if you find yourself a creative person, don't fear that because that's a piece you already have. To Chris's point, not reinventing the wheel because every idea is already out there for the most part. If you see a trend on social media, say it's just a dance video or something, and then the overlay text is something different, there's a million different overlay texts that we could use with that same trend of a dance video or that same thing that's still aligned with our brand. So I would say, yeah, keep recycling good ideas. I know I'm saying exactly what Chris is saying. Um, and also, if you get stuck with ideas, like it's okay to take a beat and to
Yeah.
just like pause because the ideas will come and like the stuckness will pass. So don't get too wound up and like so hard on yourself. I have no ideas. It's like they will come. It's all good. Don't force it. Is that it? Because then you can really feel that through the screen, I think.
100%.
Can I
And
add on?
Natalie, yeah, I was just going to say, Natalie is doing exactly what Chris said. She's recycling the same idea that he said in this podcast itself because it was such a good point. So you're using the tactic in the episode. Go ahead, Chris.
Look at
Brilliant
And
me.
it,
stuff.
Well, yeah, and some people understand it differently coming from Natalie than coming from me. She
Yeah.
said it. So you had talked about like having the house be the center of the topic. I think especially for agents who are not selling a lot of houses, they have more time behind the desk to think about ideas or content. But the struggle is they're not doing enough real estate things. So I feel like if you go preview houses, if you go I'm not telling you to knock on doors, but I'm telling you to do things that are real estate centric, and you will come up with ideas, because it's so hard to do this in a dark room by yourself. And it's cheesy, but how much content is in the coffee conversation with a friend when they're talking about, I don't know, like the weird stuff they're scrolling on Zillow and seeing at night. Like, I just think the ideas are in the action, and you just got to go get some action. You can't just chat GBT every concept.
Yeah,
Right.
100%.
And to go and just open your camera roll. Like, I love taking photos of weird things I see on a listing, or like some crazy, fish in an aquarium that's like sitting in the living room. It's so random. You take a picture and later you look through your camera roll and I'm like, oh, that's hilarious. I have an idea. So even at the very least, like, it's already in your hand.
Yeah.
I'm
I,
curious as to the post you came up with the fish in the
I'm actually
aquarium.
working on it right now. We just closed with
What is it?
this family. I'm not going to tell you.
Okay.
There was
All
quite a
right.
few
Well,
weird
we'll look out
homes
for
that
it.
we saw, and now that we're closed, I'm like, "Okay, I can go back and be like, top 10 weirdest moments with this family."
but that's such a
That's
lesson
good.
right there, because
Yeah.
I know I felt that way where I don't have an idea fully baked and then I don't start cooking at all. And then nothing ever gets close to being finished, as opposed to when you're just like, just shoot it and figure it out later. At least you have the content. And I think that's a resistance that a lot of people have, is like, I just have this thing running right here, right? And it's like, I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet.
Hmm.
But this is like what I'm always trying to do when I don't have content, because it's like, if I have it banked, let's think about it later.
Yeah, save as many posts as you can on Instagram. Obviously, consume to create. When you're consuming content, it's not just for your entertainment; it's for idea inspiration. This is how I come up with probably 50 to 60% of the broke agent posts at this point is doing exactly what Natalie says, where it's some overlay on a different meme that I could just then use for real estate stuff. So screenshot, share to your notes section. I know this stuff kind of seems obvious, but I think it is helpful to hear it from people who are constantly trying to come up with ideas, and then drawing content from your own client experiences. Chris, you said it, that action really is what sparks ideas. I remember when I first started the broke agent, all my ideas came because I was sitting open houses and inspections and having these awkward interactions with clients. Now it's way harder to sit in a cave and conjure up stuff unless I'm going like back and forth with ChatGPT. It all comes from conversations that I had. So when your client asks you a question, another client asks you that question, or someone in the comments asks the same question, that's a great hook for a video, right? So the more conversations you're having with clients, the more topics you'll be able to come up with, because those are the pain points that they are telling you actually exist. All right, here's another one. Fear of being judged by other agents
Mm,
or by your friends, possibly.
mm,
This matters. Like when I first got my real estate license in 2015, I did not want to post about real estate stuff because I thought my friends were going to think I was a moron, saying, wait, this guy just worked at the Laugh Factory 6 months ago and now he's a real estate agent. So, Natalie, I guess you post a lot of edgy, funny humor, and it seems like you have lost in a good way that judgmental side of, oh, I have a fear of what other people are going to think. How did you get rid of that, or do you still have that a little bit?
Yeah, I think I still have it a little bit, and I would say I think a healthy amount of it is a good thing, because at the end of the day,
Yeah.
we are still professionals. Um, but similar to you, like, I was pursuing acting before, so I felt like all the time I was being judged, because, like, pursuing an acting career is like pursuing a professional sport. It's like, yeah,
Mhm.
right. Like, you're not gonna, that's what I thought people would think. And then you put something out that's vulnerable, and you don't ever hear from them, because Instagram, especially, and social media is weird. You might see the likes, or you see how many views something's had, and people maybe didn't engage with it as much. Well, they're still seeing it. Oh, what do they think? I think you're going to be judged regardless, and then at the same time, nobody's really thinking about you, like that. There's like a humility aspect of, like,
mm,
if it's something that makes you feel like a complete version of yourself to post and to have a brand and to be on camera, then go for it. If it feels like it's just another box to check, then there's several other marketing tools, including carousel posts, including, you know, your gifts, if you will, your memes.
Mhm.
So yeah, I would say, like, stop judging yourself first, because I think that's a big piece of it. We judge ourselves more than
mhm.
others are judging us.
Yeah, no one actually cares. It's a
Nobody cares.
honestly a profound way to look at it is yes, people are judging for the 2 seconds that they watch that video, but the second they scroll back to the next thing or buy to the next thing, they're thinking about themselves and their own life and how to get dopamine from the next piece of content. They're not thinking, oh my God, you remember when Natalie posted that video in a wig 2 weeks ago? And they're just sitting around eating breakfast, constantly talking about it, saying how ridiculous it was. That doesn't happen.
No,
Chris,
and
what
if you
about
keep
you?
doing it and you're on brand, then they're gonna be like, "Of course she did. She does that all the
Yes,
time." It becomes a normal thing.
Yeah.
exactly.
I think those people that were talking shit about the wig at the breakfast table were talking shit before you were wearing the wig at the breakfast table. I really think that the haters are hating regardless what we're doing. I don't know if the confidence comes with age or wisdom or maybe like having a kid or a wife. I'm not sure, but it feels like more confidence in myself has allowed me to care less about what people think with the asterisk of the professionalism Natalie talks about, because despite me feeling confident or comfortable, doesn't mean that I would do whatever I feel like, because I have a goal and a purpose when I show up online. So we can straddle that fence, but like at the end of the day, I never get it twisted. I'm a real estate agent to serve people, to sell houses. But you coming from wanting to be an actress, like I was practicing law for years before jumping into this. So to go from being someone's advisor or advocate in a courtroom to go door knocking, I certainly felt this like abrasion of, worthiness. Like, what are people thinking? They think I like failed as a lawyer. But truthfully, I think once you recognize people pleasing, the mothers who fall on you anyways, just they're doing it whether you're lawyering, actressing, real estating, it really is like us in our own way. And I think the sooner we can be unapologetically ourselves, like when you shared that video of you dancing in the studio, it was like a studio night. I don't know if you know what video I'm talking about. I remember thinking, I was like, yo, she's just flowing. And this is like a part of her that not everybody sees. And I think it's hard to do that, but that's what the community connects with us the most. That's where we find this commonality with people when they don't feel comfortable to talk about interest rates or market updates, but suddenly they feel comfortable to talk about, like, I don't know, dance,
Mm-hmm.
whatever
Yeah.
else you're into.
Yeah, those are the most vulnerable ones. But yeah,
Yeah.
then someone reaches out and says like, "I didn't know you dance. I dance." It starts a conversation. "I didn't know you cook. I
Yep.
cook." I don't know, it's not a good example.
The most interesting, that's a good example. The most interesting content comes from stuff that you're interested in. So I just talked about this on a webinar a couple of days ago. Gary Vee always talks about this video he made where he said that he likes eating blueberries, and it got like 15 million views. And out of all of his marketing content, apparently this is one of his most viewed videos, just because it was a relatable 10-second organic video that he made. So it's those off-speed pitches of, hey, I like USC football. Maybe that's going to actually bring me more clients than me talking about inventory levels in Los Angeles, because someone else likes USC football. When they think about USC, now they think about me. And that's why I have it in the background there. So good tips here. All right. The fear of inconsistency. I've hosted a million masterminds, Chris. Too many. In fact, I hate hosting masterminds. I'm sick of it. I'm bleeding out of my eyes with every single webinar that I do. Every single time I'm on one of these, one of the main fears, one of the main problems is I just got to be consistent. I can't be consistent. I go a week where I post 7 things, and the next time something comes up, an appraisal, and I can't do it. So, Chris, I'll start with you. You are one of the most consistent posters probably in real estate history at this point. I know that sounds ridiculous, but you've been doing it, what, 8, 10 years? I have been doing it too as well. So how are you staying consistent? How can agents stay consistent?
I think the easiest way to stay consistent when you're first getting started is to batch record it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think at this point, most people are familiar. Designate a time on the calendar, come up with the ideas, separate time, film everything, separate time, edit, and create captions. I think that's the first way you have to do it when you're just building the muscle. I think as soon as you have built the muscle, well, even before the muscle's built, batch it and decide how often you're going to show up, because consistency to me is different than consistency to you, right? But it still works. So if you're building the muscle, for me at first it was 1 day a week, and now it's multiple times a day, every single day. But that was not square one. So I think it's
Mm-hmm.
like, pick the number in which you are going to commit to. Based on that number, you can decide how much you have to batch record. Once you've done that long enough, the muscle is strong enough that you can just, I don't know, be more confident in firing off the hip, be more confident in not having something the morning of and relying on you're still going to do it. Like, it's, you get to lean on your chops when you've been doing it long enough. You know what I mean? Like, it's
Yeah.
so
Building a muscle is a great way to put it, because that really is what it is. Consistency becomes easier the more you do it. Just like if you go to the gym once a day, it's
right.
kind of engraved in your DNA, and you start to feel that FOMO of, I didn't work out today. I actually feel worse than I do, and I don't have that, dopamine right now.
Right.
So, and then you mentioned picking a number. Pick a number that's realistic, because a
Yes.
lot of agents will say, I'm going to post twice a day for 3 months. That's not going to happen, right? Say you're going to post 3 to 5 times per week, or just put a number on it, say 5 times per week, once a day in your Instagram stories, one long form video, and one email newsletter, right? And then that way it's like, I have a prescription, I'm going to follow it. It's way easier, and it's not this daunting task. Natalie, do you have a posting schedule, or how are you so consistent with your content?
Oh, I think I lack a little bit in consistency with posting. I will say that my philosophy in general for almost everything, when I can remember, is a day at a time. So if we just think about today, and whether you're posting a piece of polished, edited content or you're posting on your story. I mean, stories a little easier. You can do it in the moment and put it whatever. You can share someone else's story as long as you're engaging a day at a time. I think it becomes habitual. And if
Mm-hmm.
you have the creative piece, which if you're listening to this podcast, you definitely do, and you start to get ideas and then you start to put it in motion, I think then leaning on what Chris said, like then make a schedule for yourself. I think in my personal business, I've had a very busy year, which is great. I've been able to do much less creative, um, off the cuff videos like I was doing in the previous years. But with the podcast, being bi-weekly, we have clips that are associated with that. They don't always get the best engagement, but it is a way for me to keep showing up on the feed, even if it's not the highest engagement, because I can look back and be like, because I get really hard on myself. I can be like, okay, wow, there were 3 posts this week that went out. Some of them did better than others if I want to do the metrics, but I think going back to a day at a time, can I just do
Mm-hmm.
3 posts today, like on my story,
Yeah.
and then see what
That's
happens?
day at a time is also a great way to look at it. And there's a fear of wasting time, which is one of them. So I'm just going to kind of combine this into this one. I felt like I was wasting time on social media for years, by the way. Like, it's only recently with BAM and the evolution of this brand that it's actually working, where this is my full-time job, right? But the daily stuff that I was doing, where I would post every single day, probably 2 or 3 times today, on the Broke Agent, on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram stories, on Snapchat back in the day. Sometimes I would do like YouTube skits and everything. I kept having this fear of, is this ever going to lead into anything?
Right.
And it really is kind of that brick by brick mentality, knowing that each post I do is expanding the brand a little bit, is getting that brand notoriety. So even if you post a podcast clip that doesn't get as much, great engagement like your other posts, someone still saw it, right? Like,
Right.
one of your potential clients still saw that. And whether they call you directly off that video or they call you 6 months from now, it's because you posted that day.
Right.
And like, it's a really powerful thing to think, each time I do this, someone is seeing it. And
Yeah.
that is positive moment. It's like, you just got to keep the puck moving. It's just like, you stay on the train, because the second you stop it, there's someone else that's on it. And then they're going to
Right.
see that person's content.
Natalie said it earlier, where it's like, if you don't get joy out of it, there are other means of marketing. And there are
Yeah.
so many, even like BAM people, that are phenomenal direct mailers, or
Mm-hmm.
phenomenal like people on the phone, like Tom Toole. Tom Toole's a killer on the phone. He's not a content guy. I think there's this illusion of everyone having to be on social because that's what people talk about. But the truth is, the only way you show up for 8 years not making no money online is because you get some joy out of it, right? Until the fruits begin to like yield. And I think that's a component that a lot of us miss. But it's like that for the rest of the business. Like, you can send so many postcards and not get nothing, and then you finally get the one, but you're not going to keep doing it unless you enjoy that process. So I feel grateful that I found this like space, because so much of it is thankless. So much of it has not returned a check, but it all gives me a lot of joy, and I know we're building something for the future. So it's what allows you to get through day to day. I think you have to get some satisfaction from something you're doing in this business, because if it's all, I hate my clients because they run me around. Like, I hate systems because I'm not a systems person. I hate sales because I don't like being on the phone. It's like, it's a
I
really
hate
hard
being on
job to.
camera and I don't want to be,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I hate
Yeah.
being on camera. It's like, dude, what piece of this is
Do you
anybody
like?
forcing you? Yeah, like, why are we doing this?
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
Yeah, you do have to like it. That's a good point, Chris. I never thought about that actually. Enjoying what you're doing. No, I totally agree because for years, and I wasn't being sarcastic. I just like I've never worded it like that. So I thought that was really good. I loved doing the broke agent stuff, still do, right? Like it does bring me joy to come up with something funny or come up with a new concept or a new comedy angle that was from some other industry that I could then work in here. Like that is there's a reason why it worked, right? If I hated it and I was publishing it, people would sense that. And sometimes they can because sometimes you get in these peaks and valleys of content too, where you actually do hate doing it because you're like, oh my God, I know I have to be consistent. I listened to the walkthrough. I said I was going to do it 5 times a week. So now I'm filming this video at an inspection and I look like a hostage. That will happen also. But you also work your way out of these peaks and valleys, right? Because
Right.
sometimes you're like, I'm funny as hell right now. I'm going to post like the next 5 things are going to be good, right? And then other times you're like, I got nothing.
Yeah,
I got no confidence right now. I got no brain activity, but I'm at least going to keep it going a little bit. So that way when it comes back, because it always does, then
right.
the people are there.
Man, we Tony
Damn,
Robbins in this shit. Halloween
we all
Tony
are.
Robbins special.
I mean, yeah.
The content cauldron is working. Nope.
So
There we
It
go.
where's
is
my
it is
lockbox?
like a very I love that. It is a very vulnerable medium of marketing, being on
Yeah,
camera. And I know I'm like tying all these fears in, but I think that's what it comes down to is like the vulnerability, like if you are able to find joy and a little bit of like, shit, am I really about to post this? Like that hit,
Hmm.
which the more you do it, the less that hit comes. I'm sure you two can agree. But once in a
Yes.
while, it's, oh my God, I should take that down.
hmm,
And
Yeah.
usually those are the ones that either do really well or you get the best feedback from people in real life scenarios, clients or whatever. And it's like, but that's like the feeling piece of this work. And if that's not there, it's like, why are we doing it?
Yeah.
Why?
And I'll reference older videos that you've made, Natalie, because you've been on the show before. When you've said, this is a controversial video where maybe you cursed in the video or you were talking about Naples nostalgia, but it's those videos that probably took your entire account to the next level because they
Yeah.
performed so well. So great, great advice here for social media. If you're enjoying this Halloween episode, please throw this video a like. Again, 100 likes, and all you have to do is comment the word Happy Halloween, and the three of us are going to Zoom for your office. It's going to happen. So get this to 100 likes because this will be a good episode. Okay, I don't know if that was 10. It doesn't really matter, but I do want to move on to our social media fears because I think this is important. You mind if I start with mine? Because
yeah.
Please.
I have two, and I think a lot of the audience will resonate with these. Number one is running out of content ideas, which is one of the biggest fears that agents have, especially for the broke agent, because I am not actively selling real estate. It is harder and harder and harder to come up with these. So I'm sure even the audience here has probably seen a lot of the captions being recycled. Although I did just come up with a funny concept yesterday about buyer seminars, first time buyer seminars, and like how real estate gurus will say just to throw these things, like it's just some easy thing to go get coffee, set up an event, put it on a presentation, and have like 2 people sing in your office. So I am going to do a post on that. Not funny right there the way I described it, but like
It's really
sometimes
good.
I see a lot of stuff in Facebook groups that I could pull from. But obviously coming up with ideas and the fear of like, all right, well, 5 years from now, am I going to be doing broke agent still? When I'm 40, am I still making memes? Is that
You're not
cool? I don't
40?
know. What'd you say?
You're
Haley,
not 40 yet?
kick her out, Haley. In
Oh no.
5 long years from now, Natalie, when I'm 40 years old, will this be a problem? And then number two, this is my main fear, the AI fear. It's not like,
Mm.
oh, is AI going to come take our jobs? Is AI going to take over? It's so overwhelming with the amount of platforms and stuff that I'm not using on AI. There's Sora now, which is like the chat GPT for Instagram. I know I'm not using chat GPT to its full extent. There's VO3 for video making that I should be doing more of to like evolve these comedic ideas. But there's almost an overwhelming factor where it's not like, oh, I just need to get on TikTok and learn TikTok. That's one platform. It's Jason Pantana just told me 40 different things I need to be on. Right. And it's like, I don't want to hear any of that. I want AI to stop right now as it is. I wish it would just stop right now. It's like, I kind of get ChatGPT.
Let me
Let's keep
catch
it
up.
right here. Let me catch
Yeah.
up. Just no more. Just stop. That's
Yeah.
my fear. What about you guys? Natalie,
I mean, I
start with.
definitely have the fear of AI.
Yeah.
Definitely the amount of information that we have to learn about AI. It's like it has everything about us and we have nothing about it. I don't love that, like in a relationship either. Like any, like that's why I like to get to know people. Like, tell me about you. And it's hard because AI is evolving so fast. But I also fear someone, myself included, not knowing if they're seeing something that's real or not. And I
Mm,
Mhm.
especially fear it for people older than us,
mhm.
who are still like oftentimes my client base, like my average, you know. And that's not just because I live in a place people want to come to retire, but I mean, I think of my parents, like they won't, if they see a video, my mom will send it to me. I'm like, Mom, that's fake. Like, please know that's fake. But like, if she didn't have me to tell her that, so that's kind of, that's like actually like a deep fear. Actually, I just felt a little on my gut go, ooh,
Yeah.
yeah, because like, and then maybe I make a video and someone's like, that can't be real. And it's like, no, it is. It's me. I'm just wearing a wig. It's me, you know?
Yeah. It's pretty legitimate.
Spooky.
My
Yes.
wife is not old. She's 34 and she's a freaking surgeon. And she showed me a video and was just like, "Can you believe this kid is feeding a bear?" And I was like, "Mama, no, I
Yeah.
can't believe it because it's not real."
Right.
And she doesn't
Yeah.
know Sora.
I saw a golden doodle with a machine gun shooting up the front door of a house yesterday. And my friend sent me that. I was just like, that's your dog. I was like,
Yeah.
funny
But
video, but
you're like, that's crazy.
yeah.
No, but in like in the reverse also. Because what if something that seems like, oh, that probably could happen? I don't know. And I think of real estate videos. I don't know the scariest thing that could happen, but I don't know. It's just become a lot.
Mhm. Chris, do you have a fear of AI as well?
I don't have a tremendous fear of AI. I mean, certainly exactly what you guys have described. I've been reading these articles of people making fake videos and sending them to family members and like really scaring them like that. So when I think about it, it scares me, but I don't actively think about it. I will give you two fears, real estate centric, one that's like low
Hmm.
hanging, one that's like more high hanging. Low hanging fear that's like really crippling is before anything goes to the printer, I am so scared that I get it back with the wrong address or something. Like something mission critical or a postcard went out with the wrong date or time and then my client sees it and I'm just like, "Oh, there's no taking down this post. It's at 700 houses." That's a real that's a real estate fear.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then a more higher level fear in the industry or in real estate. I don't know if you guys feel this way, but I feel like I'm constantly trying to make the decision of whether to do something that is for the next check versus doing something that's for building something bigger. I'm a yes man. I love selling houses and I love serving people and I'm selling from like 400 to 4 million and sometimes I fear that chasing every transaction despite giving me a nice life is not building the future the way that it should. And that's like a very personal, right? That's like,
Yeah.
how are you spending your time? And that's a real estate fear because so many of us are chasing checks, but not chasing harmony in life. Or what does it look like when you don't have as much energy?
Yeah. Like a
Yeah.
client that sucks the life out of you, but you get a $10,000 commission check, but they made your life hell for 6 months. And you probably could have spent that time better with
Yeah.
family or working on another client that isn't sucking the life out of you.
Yeah, or just like the shit that most real estate agents hate is like you get a client and you close and you don't put them in the CRM and then you just like
Hmm.
forget about them because you want to go show another house and it's just like
Yeah.
such easy basic shit to
Yeah.
avoid.
Definitely. Well, let us know in the comments what your spooky. Let us know in
Spooky.
the comments what
Weird.
your biggest fear is, whether it's in marketing or in real estate. I want to see this comment section blow up. If this gets more than 15 comments, Natalie will fly to your office and she will perform
On my
a
broom.
she will on her broom, she will perform a seance for you. It'll be crazy. All right, marketing horror stories or real estate horror stories. We'll have a little fun.
Oh,
It is a holiday
shit.
episode. So if you have any of these, Natalie, I'll start with you. Any
Yeah.
marketing horror stories or real, like, what's the scariest thing that's happened to you basically ever?
Oh, whatever. Well, I was thinking about I was looking through my marketing and I'm like, which thing was I really like? What did I like? Where did I make a mistake, kind of? Or where did that feeling come? And I couldn't find one. And then literally yesterday, I can't believe I'm saying this on air. Um, I made this video of a new listing and I thought it was kind of like cute and fun and it was like a little bit of humor. And my clients are awesome. These sellers are like, you have to make it, they watch my stuff, like you have to make a video at our condo. And I was like, great. So then I sent it to them, making sure they didn't see it before I sent it. I was like, doing all the marketing, like, what do you guys think? And I didn't hear back from them for like 24 hours, which was first of all, fear number one, like, oh, I'm canceled. And then she did finally say, she's like, "It's cute, but I don't love that you're jumping on my bed." And I was like, "Oh, like, I haven't felt that, because out of everything in that video, you have to go watch
That's
it.
the thing.
I was like, "That's the thing." And then she's like, "Oh, but you're like, you're super small. Like, I got nervous." And I'm like, "No, the bed didn't break, but, like, I'm so sorry. I should have asked you first." Like, those kinds of little things as a creative, when you do finally give yourself permission to take certain risks.
Mhm.
You've noticed a lot of my stuff is like green screen in the background. I'm not really up in people's business. I'm kind of just to myself. And I took a risk to make a video that's doing very well and actually got a showing from it. So I was like, and I made sure to tell her that. I was like, this is working, I promise. She's like, no, it's all good. But that is a fear
Mhm.
and a mistake that I think I'll do it differently next time. Like maybe
That's one.
send them the edit
Mhm.
before I post it.
Smart. Yeah, that's one of those texts that you get that your stomach just drops
Yeah.
and you're just like, oh, yeah, you're right, but it's for a good cause. But yeah, like that's scary. I
Yeah.
hate receiving. I mean, I never happened to me in real estate when I was marketing stuff, but just getting a text from a client of something that you did that you thought was in the right direction, but it wasn't,
Right.
and it just
Right.
like that like knocks you out.
It
Um,
does. I had to replay it in my head. I'm like, "No, I'm happy I'm the one who sent it to her and she didn't just see it, because I think that would have
exactly.
been worse."
Yeah, I think that's a good rule of thumb for most people, and is send your stuff to your clients before you post it, just to make sure they're aligned with it. Even if they're trusting you as the marketer, you don't want them to come across it and say, "Hey, didn't your real estate agent just posted a video of
Yeah.
her jumping on the bed?" Exactly. Chris, what about you? Any horror stories?
It's pretty similar, and I'm a worse real estate agent than Natalie because I didn't run it by the client in this circumstance, and I too am always, feeling that like push the boundaries, but don't want to disrespect anybody. At the same time, you really are doing it for their benefit. Like you want this to get attention to sell the house. One specific the specific situation. This was probably more than a year ago. We were selling a fixer upper, a complete dump, cash only, just garbage, just like one of those houses. And just because it was a piece of trash doesn't mean that we weren't going to market the hell out of it. And there was tenants living there. It was like a quasi crack house. We were representing the owners who knew some of the tenants. But long story short, Joaquin and I are in there doing our thing. And as we were in the living room shooting the like branded, like this house is 3 bedroom, whatever, somebody comes to the door. And it's like an older Asian woman banging on the door and is just like, pay me my money. Like, where's the money? Like, Fernando, pay me the money. And I was like, Joaquin, run it. And Joaquin just starts filming it. And I go straight into like, this house is 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, the ultimate deal. And like, this is exactly why. And like a good real estate agent to get eyes, I hit up Bad Real Estate Pics, and the
My
video
account.
went viral, like half a
Hmm.
million in like 18 hours type of thing, like
Oh,
crazy. And I really didn't think anybody would see this because like crackheads be crackheads, and sure enough, like enough people saw it, and then it got back to the seller. And just little things. It's like, I can't believe you showed the trash. And I was like, what do you mean? How do I hide that? Like, there
the
is a
product.
quad in the backyard. Like, I'm sorry I kicked the flat tire. Like, I don't know what to say. Um,
Yeah.
so that was definitely the pit because all I wanted was for it to crush, and all I wanted was to like sell this house. And sure enough, it did. But
Hmm.
yeah, you like feel so bad because you weren't trying not to hurt anybody.
No. But then you're also like, "But that's why you hired me." Like,
Yeah,
you had all these other,
exactly.
you know what I mean? Like, I know that's why you hired me.
Yeah, exactly. It's
But
like,
yeah,
didn't you see, like, the
all
never
my
mind.
yeah,
Yeah,
That was a
yeah.
horror story.
the bad real estate picks account. By the way, I want to resurface that, resurrect it from the dead, if you will. So this is an account that
Yeah.
almost has 100,000 followers. I started it probably 2 years after the broke agent because I wanted different media arms, right? Like bad real estate picks could kind of appeal to everybody in the world, not just real estate agents. So I was getting a ton of submissions, but I left my eyes went other places. But that account got me in trouble a bunch because I was posting agents marketing that was horrible. So it'd be misspellings, it'd be like horrible listing
I
photos,
love it.
and but then I would get calls from these people, DMs or calls saying like, "Hey, like I know who you are. Like you're Eric. I'm going to talk to the realtor board or whatever and tell people that you're posting people's bad marketing." And I'm like, "Fair enough. I probably shouldn't be doing that, I guess, but at the same time, it is your marketing and it is that bad. So
Yeah.
if I'm exposing it like this, maybe you should look at
Do
yourself
better.
and say, maybe I shouldn't,
Exactly. Do
have
better.
stuff written backwards in the listing description or something." So
Yeah.
bad real estate picks did get me in trouble a few times. But
You
Me
gotta bring
too.
if
that
you're,
back.
yeah, does anyone want to run this account? I can't run another account, but if someone wants to actively run it, Natalie, maybe it's you. You seem interested in it.
Give it to
I would
Derek.
love to follow it. I can't
I could
believe
give
you
it to
run
Derek.
your own account.
Yeah, I
Is that
run
true?
my account, BAM account. Every post that's ever been made is through my,
You run that.
yeah, of course.
The
I mean, I
guy was
figured, but I
posting
don't
stuff on
think
his honeymoon.
Yeah,
Honeymoon.
exactly.
he's in
Got to
it.
keep the ball rolling, right, Natalie?
Yeah. Shoot.
That's the move. My marketing horror stories, I had a couple during COVID when everybody was doing Zoom conferences. Housing Wire asked me to speak at theirs, and I was in a hotel in San Diego, and my Wi-Fi wasn't great, so I kept like coming in every 5 seconds during the conference, and then I had to call in, and then my calls were being dropped. And at one point, I just got so nervous because nothing was working. I just hung up the call and just turned off my phone. And I was like, you know what, this they don't need to hear
See,
anything else from me because the entire talk I was giving was like, hey, can you guys hear me? Hey, what's up? Can you guys hear me? And then nothing was ever happening. So I just completely bailed on that conference. And then I went on Instagram Live and talked about it for a couple of minutes. Another marketing horror story. I wouldn't really call it a horror story because it's part of my brand, but this this book I spent a year and a half on with an illustrator, Eric Lee. He came to my apartment. We made this entire cartoon book, and I thought that this was going to be my ticket to something. Like this is going to turn into a cartoon show or an animation, or that I was going to sell 10,000 copies and make 100 grand from a real estate comic book. It sucked a
not
year
yet.
out of my life. What's that?
Not yet.
Not yet. I mean, I don't think it's going to sell now. Maybe after this
Did anyone
episode
know
gets.
about it? All of our listeners know about it now.
I
How do
think
we buy
some
it?
people have heard about it. Don't buy it. Every time someone buys it, I think it sucks money out of my account somehow.
Oh,
But
really? Since that's a good
basically,
gag gift for friends around Christmas.
yeah.
Agent.
Yeah, good gag gift, exactly. Maybe when I'm 40 years old next year, Natalie, I could sell my comic book again. But I think like it was a good lesson of something like you spend a lot of time on, but it doesn't get the result
Work.
that you thought it would, but it still
Mhm.
builds the brand because I was still actively coming up with funny content for it. I'm coming up with all these cartoons and all these different characters, and those characters like the data and inspection or the top producer agent that I was talking about 8 years ago now, 9 years ago, those have become kind of staples in the real estate community. So good did come out of it, but it
Yeah.
was a huge marketing blunder in the sense that I thought agents would want to buy a real estate comic book. Like one of the dumbest things possible.
It's helping make my kid literate. I haven't shared this with you, BA, but Vanessa gave me a copy after the Arizona BAM camp,
Uh-huh.
and somehow it ended up on my 2-year-old's bookshelf, and he
Yeah.
can't read yet. But he is always asking me to read it to him, but I
Oh,
can't
that's
read
great.
it to him because it's like not appropriate. So I just open
Yeah.
the pages and just make things up.
Yeah, that's hilarious. Well, it kind of like
Go there.
it was too expensive to get coloring for it, so it
Of
looks like it's
course.
a coloring book.
He loves it. He
Yeah.
Maybe
loves
he can
it.
start coloring in it.
Yeah, exactly. Natalie, I'll send you a copy of it. I'm sure you.
I would love that.
Okay. All right. Fantastic. Let us know if you have any crazy marketing blunders or horror stories. One more is I had in 2015, one of the first pieces of content I came out with was called The Intro. It was a real estate rap video, and it was extremely vulgar and psychotic. It was basically, remember, you know who Lil Dicky is?
Yes.
Natalie?
Yeah.
Lil Dicky? Yeah, yeah.
Well, thank you.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, Lil Dicky. Okay. I thought I was going to be like the Lil Dicky of real estate. Like he was like my idol, Jewish,
I can see that actually.
funny sports
I can
content. And
kind of,
like, that was like, those were the days on YouTube where like rap parodies were sick or doing music
yeah.
parodies. So I was like, this is going to be something. It wasn't. It pissed off some people that were like higher ups in real estate that then did not want to touch my brand because of it. But those are the mistakes you learn when you're posting content.
Part of the journey.
Part of the journey.
Totally.
Part of the journey.
Totally.
All right. That's the kind of stuff that makes you stand out from the crowd, just like wearing a wig. And if you're an agent looking to stand out from the crowd, Reminder Media is a resource you have to check out. You get your own branded print and digital magazines, email newsletters, and social content. They deliver these resources to your contacts on autopilot, keeping you top of mind with your database. All you got to do is focus on your follow-up calls and watch referrals and repeat business come in. How about that organic read right there? Working it in.
You're too good, bro. It's natural.
All right. Final thing. Any last minute Halloween content ideas or tips? Tomorrow, people will be going trick-or-treating with their kids. Natalie, are you doing anything marketing wise on Halloween day? Anything that you're posting or mailers, or are you going door knocking with your kid? What's the move? Not that, I don't know if you have a kid, but
I don't have a kid. I have a dog and a cat currently. We've got a podcast, not like a clip coming out that's Halloween related that we've been kind of trickling in the past couple of weeks in the spirit. I'll probably do hand out candy. My neighborhood goes off, so we're kind of looking forward to doing that. So I'm kind of ready for Halloween to be over this year, because if you're in the marketing space, this is a big one to be marketing all month. So I'm like, yes, we're almost through. I don't think I'll be wearing any more wigs because I've worn quite a few recently. Yeah.
So when kids trick or treat, are you handing anything to parents that say you're a real estate agent, or is that cringe?
I really should be. But most of my neighbors know that I'm a real estate agent.
Got it. Yeah, so that'd be ridiculous, I guess, if you're handing them cards and they already know.
But I gotta think of that. Yeah, I should, if I was really on top of it, which I'm not. I would have like stuff like candy wrapped with like my initials instead of M&M or something.
Yeah, seems like
I'm not
a layup.
Serious.
Yeah, Chris, what about you? What are you doing?
So I have a handful of pieces of content that I made around listings that just like need to get pushed out before Halloween. So I'm definitely going to make sure that I share whatever listing related content that I made by tomorrow. I think low hanging fruit that for sure will get engagement is if you dress up or you have a kid that's dressed up. I bet you if you share that stuff, people will certainly engage with it. One thing that I did, Natalie, I used to live on a street that had a Halloween parade every year. Like I'm talking about the street went mental, and actually the gay parade, it was like a big street that people would do parades on.
Yeah.
And I don't think this is kosher. That probably wasn't kosher either. I would hand out like White Claws or Nooners to the parents and cards. And it was like a hit. So the kids would get candy and I would like give them a Nooner. And I had like, I was shameless about it. During the gay parade, I had like a poster of me like on a buff guy with a Speedo in my face. And it was like a QR code to scan to like go to the ice cream shop. And if they're walking by your door, give it to them.
Yeah, give them some booze. Parents
some
always
booze and a business card.
Exactly.
Not for the kids. Not for the kids.
Right. Yeah. Of course. So yeah, those are your marketing tips.
Yeah, there's a block party. Jello shots, maybe.
Yeah.
Somehow with I don't know. We'll get next Halloween. I'll let you know.
Next Halloween. I agree with you too, Natalie. When, as someone who is the head of content at a media company, holidays are exhausting for coming up with trend jacking and ideas and everything. It's great because it does kind of add in like an extra layer of inspiration, but at the same time, like basically now for the next 3 months or 2 months, it's Halloween, it's Thanksgiving, it's Hanukkah, it's Christmas, it's New Year's. It's like all of this kind of holiday related content. And I kind of love June and July where it's just post whatever the hell you want. It's not, it doesn't have to be some sort of trend jack. It doesn't have to be in season with anything.
Right. So true.
Yeah. All right, everybody. That's a Halloween episode. Go follow Chris Benjamin. Go follow Naples Natalie. Naples Natalie's Instagram, by the way, is not Naples Natalie. Chris is Chris Benjamin, so go follow him. Natalie, what is your Instagram handle so people can follow you?
It is Natty PB, like peanut butter. It should be Naples Natalie, but
Do you like the
it's not.
nickname Naples Natalie?
I do. I
Yeah.
do.
I think it's sick. I think it's like a character in the BAM universe.
Yeah, I love that. With or without the wig on.
Yes.
Now I'm starting to think I look better with the wig.
Everybody, go follow Naples Natalie. Go follow Chris Benjamin. That is the walkthrough. We'll see Jason Cassidy back next week, and we'll see you next week on the walkthrough.